Hi, I'm Grandmaster Matthew Sadler, and this super quick video is in our engine snack series. And in my new book, The Silicon Road to Chess Improvement, I spend a whole chapter on engine sacrifices. And one of the many sacrifices that engine play nowadays are sacrifices to clear open lines for the major pieces. And we saw many such long-term sacrifices from AlphaZero. But the modern engines are just as ready, indeed just as eager to do the same. And one great example was from the game Combusken-rofChade in round 3 of the currently ongoing TCEC Swiss 2. And engines can really teach us how to play like Tal or Shirov at their best. And understanding this theme, opening lines for your major pieces, it's a very important building block to building up a good attacking position. So this is the position after move 11 from black. White has played a Shirov g4 semi-Slav. And as you can see, there's a pawn on g4 just hanging there loose. Now it's very interesting. I mean, the knight could have taken the pawn on g4 earlier, but you'd go rook g1, the knight would move back, and then the g7 pawn would be hanging. So it's not quite a real sacrifice from that point of view. But yeah, I mean, how is white going to develop? I mean, there's many obvious moves: g5, rook g1 maybe. Combusken plays something quite stunning, but a lot of my engines actually want this move. But I think it's probably one of the last things that I would think about normally. So Combusken played bishop e3. Why is that an odd move? It's a good developing move. It lines up on the c5 pawn. You want to stop c6, c5 from happening, because as long as the pawn's on c6, this bishop on c8 doesn't get active. But what it means is that black can play knight takes g4. And, if rook g1, we take the bishop on e3. So no lost pawn on g7. But actually Combusken's idea was simply bishop d2. And what white has done here, white's tempted black to take that pawn on g4, because it gained a tempo on the bishop. But actually, white is happy about it. White wanted this to happen because it opens the g file for the rook. It's and there's no immediate mate or anything. It's just long term. You get an open file with your rook against a place where the black king might want to castle, and that's worth a whole pawn. It's where it's worth more than a pawn, because Combusken's evaluation went up after this. So knight f6, rook g1 was played, and you already start to see some danger. For example, we're attacking the pawn on g7. If g6, I can just play e5, knight d5, and rook takes g6 with complete carnage. So, the danger starts immediately. I mean, rofChade, very strong engine, has played in division in the Premier Division a few seasons ago. Played g5. But after h4 takes, bishop f4, another pawn sacrifice, we'd got the open g file for the rook. The bishop had come to a fantastic square, and white was ready to start moving in with all its pieces. And I mean, white just didn't rush or anything like that. White just claimed center, 2 bishops, black king stuck in the center, no good place for it, long term, just a win. And Combusken certainly proved that. So there we are. Hope you enjoyed that. Just a very nice example there of how engines just give up pawns for long-term compensation. That compensation being the early activity of a major piece on an open file. And really impressive stuff.